Ahead on Early Birds, the Falcons motor on up to Detroit. We'll tell you how the Birds can stay perfect this weekend. Plus, we'll go deep on Jonnu's favorite play and answer the big college football question: who thinks it's a good idea to make Dion mad? That and more on Early Birds.
Grab a cup of your favorite Joe and let's talk Falcons football on Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Good morning and welcome into Early Birds. He's DJ, I'm Justin, and Shock, your undefeated Falcons are walking into the Lions' den confidently.
What was that word you said? Undefeated.
Undefeated. Maybe they can make it 3-0 this week. We'll tell you how they can get it done. Starting things off with the opening drive. And Shock, Falcons and Lions tomorrow right here on Fox 5. Detroit is coming off a tough overtime loss at home. But DJ, expectations were real high for this Lions team, and you can expect a loud environment at Ford Field.
Yeah, it's one of those places where you look forward to playing if you're visiting because it's so loud. But you think about where this team is coming from. We saw them on Hard Knocks, so everybody is used to what they're about. And they love Dan Campbell and his energy. And then you go week one and go into this place here in Kansas City and get a win when nobody expects you to go and do that, and you beat the defending champs. Now you have a tough loss in overtime. This is a tough physical team that everybody expects that the Lions should be there to end. Expect to be a team in the NFC that everybody expects to be good.
Yeah, still that team very much that beat the Chiefs, and Arthur Smith thinks quite highly of the team in Honolulu Blue.
They play well, they're smart, well coached, all those guys. So it's going to be a unique challenge. They got good special teams. It'll be a loud environment. We know they'll be ready to go. We know that, we got to have our mind right. We need to play really well. We're going into an extremely loud environment, and it'll be a fun challenge for us.
As we continue on the opening drive, the Falcons scored about the same amount of points weeks 1 and 2, but the yards they produced really took off against Green Bay. Drake London got involved, Tyler Algier, as you see, and it seemed like Bijan, they were just letting him cook out there. Shock, what did you see out of the offense between weeks 1 and 2?
Yeah, I think this is where this offense is going to trend. Arthur Smith's going to get more comfortable, used to what he's doing. All these guys that are in this offense, he's going to have an idea of who to get the football to in certain plays, certain times. This is going to be a fun offense to watch as he gets used to all these guys and the different things they can do. And then, CP's going to be added to the fray as well. So there's going to be a lot of playmakers to get involved. And Chris Lindstrom says the team has been really impressed by rookie Bijan Robinson.
I mean, he's just always here. He's here early. He's here on off days. He's working really hard, and I think just the approach that he has to different adversities that come up, or challenges that coach either puts on him or puts on himself, or moments that come up. The way he's able to respond every single day is really awesome. It just speaks to his maturity.
Yeah, fun guy to watch for sure. And as we wrap up the opening drive, the question nobody thought we'd be asking right now: is the NFC South better than we thought? Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and of course the Falcons, all 2-0. The NFC East was the only other division with 3 undefeated teams after the first 2 weeks of the season. So DJ, what do you think?
I think absolutely they're one of the divisions you look at and say, okay, this is a division everybody have to step back and say, okay, maybe they are pretty good. You look at all the additions on both teams. You talk about Baker, who nobody really thought was going to be good.
He's playing good.
And he's playing really good. They got a really good defense, and they're trying to say, okay, just because Tom Brady's gone doesn't mean we're still not going to be good. New Orleans has a new, obviously, quarterback in Derek Carr, a veteran guy. Their defense has always been good. We have added so many different pieces on both sides of the ball. Look out, rest of the NFL. The NFC has something to say.
Yeah, Carolina maybe only getting better with a young quarterback as well. Well, welcome into Early Birds alongside DJ Shockley. I'm Justin Felder. Back to the Lions, maybe not the world's most flashy offense, right? Yeah. But they've got a guy in Jared Goff who can really control the game and make the big throws when they need him to.
No doubt. And in his 3 years in with the Lions, he's done such a good job of 68% completion percentage. He's done a really good job of taking care of the football. He is a guy that really won't hurt you, but he does make plays when you need to. And he's a guy last year many people thought would be out of Detroit. Right. Everybody thought they would be looking for a new quarterback. He only took him to the playoffs and played well. So this is a guy that everybody expects to continue to play at a high level. I think he will.
Now they're going to end up having to write him a big contract.
For sure.
Well, Shock, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low enough to keep you
Ooh, babe.
from getting to the film room.
Oh, that's right.
Because of Motown?
That
I
was
thought
good.
going to Detroit.
I did like that. That was a good one. Right
I appreciate
there. Spot on with
that.
one.
Every once in a while I get a good one. Go warm up the telestrator. We'll see you in a few. But first, no matter the results of the season or of the game for the past 8 seasons and counting, the Falcons have counted on Grady Jarrett. Now one of the team's leaders and captains, he's ready to get back to the winning ways of earlier in his Atlanta career. He sat down one-on-one this week with our Kelly Price.
So you guys have the opportunity to go 3-0 for the first time since 2017. You and Jake Matthews are the only 2 guys left from that squad. I mean, kind of reflect on the journey that has been these last, I guess, 6 years or so to kind of lead you to that place.
Yeah, so I mean, the last 6 years, it's been some high times and then some times that, haven't really gone our way. But at the end of the day, everything, has worked up to this moment to be in this position where we are. We're 2-0 now. Still got a long road ahead. Got a tough team coming up here in the Lions, and our goal is just, win the next one. So that'll get us, to 3-0. But at the end of the day, if we don't handle our business, throughout this week, prepare the way we need to. We got a tough team we're going up against, and all the focus should just be on the now, And that's where my mind is at. Had some growing pains from the past, but at the end of the day, you take those lessons to apply it, to the future, and we're here and now. So just trying to make the most of this opportunity while we're right here.
How would you describe the crowds that you've been seeing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium so far this season?
Oh man, it's been amazing, man. That energy has just been crazy. Like I love it. Like everybody on the team love it. Coach love it. I mean, it's been a part of the reason why we winning too. I mean, we go out there and the fans showing up like that, you make you want to play harder. This game is played for the fans. You can never let that go over your head, because without the fans, we don't have a game. And so for us to be coming out on top, giving them what they paid for, the wins, and just having good energy, big plays and stuff like that, comeback wins. I mean, it's time for it, man. ATL been begging for it, and it feels very good to see them in there having fun. And coming to Atlanta, I can't imagine being on a visiting team and just seeing that from the culture to whatever it may be, and just see, we got entertainers, the crowds going crazy, world class stadium. I mean, it don't get no better, man. It don't get no better, and that's why I'm just really blessed and thankful to be here and play in front of these fans.
It's time to get some game intel from Shock. You're invited into the film room, so cut the lights and let's get started.
So we just talked about Jared Goff and all the success that he's having and how good he's going to be in Detroit. Well, we have some guys on our defense that's really going to be experts when I say rushing the passer, so hopefully that can happen this weekend as well. I want to talk about a play we had here against the Green Bay Packers. Now, this is a pressure look. Now, you're talking about having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. When you're watching this, who's blitzing? You have no idea who is going to blitz on this particular play because the Falcons disguise it so well. But the guys I want you to pay attention to is Caden Ellis, your linebacker here, and then you got Arnold Ebiketie at the top over here. He's going to loop all the way around this way, and Ebiketie's going to loop all the way around this way to get the pressure on the quarterback. The other guy to pay attention to, Bud Dupree on the edge. He's going to do a good job of keeping contained, which keeps Jordan Love right in the middle of that pocket. The pressure you like on this particular play is exactly what they have to do against Jared Goff. He's one of those type of guys, if you give him time, guess what? He's going to find ways to get to you. So let's this play start. And remember the 2 guys I told you to watch here. Caden Ellis, look, here's Caden Ellis here on the outside looping around. He's going to be the containment on that side. Here's Ebiketie coming around from this edge. Look at this guard. He's looking out here to go help, but he doesn't know somebody's coming to him, and this is why you get the pressure. This is why you disguise so well if you're Ryan Nielsen. And then you get the pressure coming off. And look at this guy's jumped on 2 guys on Bud Dupree. And now you got Arnold Ebiketie running free because of the disguise up front. And you really did a good job of not showing it. This is an awesome job here. Now you get to the quarterback, you get pressure on him, and you call a fluttering throw. Justin, this defensive line and defensive front, it's going to be fun to watch for 17 games. I'm looking forward to seeing them get more pressure on the quarterback like they did versus Jordan Love.
Yeah, Shock, absolutely. And that came at a key point in the game. DJ, thanks so much. We've got more to come on Early Birds. Georgia has a serious injury list as they get ready for their SEC stretch. We'll talk college ball plus.
We came out there, we kicked Baltimore. I ain't gonna say that, you know what I mean? But, we got the dub that game.
Thanks for censoring yourself, Jonnu. Jonnu Smith reflects on one of the biggest plays of his career back when Arthur Smith was an assistant coach on his team. That's next when we go deep.
Hey, Hey Falcons fans, score a touchdown with low tire prices at Mavis Tires and Brakes, the official tire retailer of the Atlanta Falcons. Visit MavisTire.com to find a store near you. You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz. The best, nothing. And sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. Truest, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. And the Home Depot, how doers get more done. More Early Birds coming back at you. Early Birds, listen up. It's not Saturday without some college football talk. Brought to you by Zaxby's. Indescribably good chicken fingers and wings. Here's Justin Felder.
Welcome back into Early Birds. We welcome former Ohio State and Falcons wide receiver Michael Jenkins. And a big one for your Buckeyes tonight. Give me a quick scouting report. What should we look for Ohio State and Notre Dame tonight?
Big matchup, Marvin Harrison Jr. and the cornerback from Notre Dame. I mean, that guy can play. So it's going to be some tough sledding, but I think the Buckeyes get the win tonight.
All right, we'll see. That'll be a fun one to watch coming up tonight. Georgia with a slightly less show-stopping opponent tonight. They'll face UAB, Alabama, Birmingham. And Jenk, the big story in this, you're seeing it right here, is the injury list in Athens. You got O-linemen, you got running backs, you got Lab McConkey, the wide receiver. Yeah. So how concerned should Georgia fans be?
I mean, that's tough, seeing your top guys not in the lineup. Like you said, McConkey, Mims, Milton. I mean, the list goes on. Bullard. I mean, these guys are key players for the Dogs that are not playing. Might have to get shocked to put on some pads and get back out there. But this is why you have the recruiting list. This is why you go and get top talent, and you have guys that now can get some early run and help this team out.
Yeah, 5-star after 5-star waiting in the wings. Kirby Smart, he's not a doctor, but maybe he's spending a little too much time lately with Georgia's team doctor.
We have the longest injury list we've ever had since being here, so it continues to grow, and I think that's a trend across college football. You very rarely hear me talk about our guys being injured or, woe is me. I don't think it's something that you can control. That becomes a hurdle. We got to do a good job overcoming that, and we got to be very resourceful as coaches in how we use the players we do have.
So UAB has some talented players. Georgia, obviously, big favorite. So if you're Kirby Smart and this game is in hand, if you're up big, does it make you more likely to try to protect guys, take them out earlier?
I mean, you don't want to ever think about injuries, but you want to protect your guys. So if they can get some younger guys in there once they're guys that the game's in hand, I'm sure he'll start rolling some players in there.
Elsewhere in the SEC, what else is new? Lane Kiffin trying to get under another coach's skin. I want to know what you make of this situation. This time, Lane is suggesting Alabama switch defensive play callers. Nick Saban says, no, that's not the case. Yeah. First off, what's the big deal? And second, what is Lane Kiffin trying to do here?
I mean, if you know Lane, he just loves to stir the pot, and especially with his former boss, the guy he's been under. But he just likes to poke the bear, and I don't know if you really want to poke the bear right now, because Saban's going to have his guys ready to take care of business.
Yeah, Alabama, the last thing they need is some bulletin board material. And speaking of bulletin board material, the big game today, the weird thing that we're all talking about, Colorado and Oregon.
Every week.
Coach Prime show. It's real. We'll talk about it next week, I'm sure. But here's the thing. Why does every opposing coach seem to want to take shots at Deion, right? The Colorado State coach did it. Right. Dan Lanning did it in the offseason about Colorado leaving the Pac-12. Yeah. This is the last team you want to fire up.
I don't know why. You're seeing what's happening, and Deion does a great job with his guys of just focusing and doesn't try to make it personal, but it feels like he makes it personal when coaches come at him. So, Coach Lanning, he had his words earlier in the season, which, I'm sure he says has no emphasis on this game, but we're using it, and I'm sure his team and Coach Prime's team is using it as well. So they'll be ready to play.
Yeah, absolutely. This week leading up to the game, it sounded a little different.
I'm not a fan of anybody, except for, some of the celebrities that got a tremendous gift, but not in sports. I respect the heck out of him. I love what he's accomplishing. I love who he is, the way he runs his team. I love the way he operates. So I've got a lot of respect for him.
You think the train keeps rolling with Colorado? They've been fun to watch. It's been exciting games. You think it keeps going?
21-point dogs on the road. No Travis Hunter. A little tougher this time. They keep it close, but I don't think they get the win today.
But if they pull it off, what a show it would be. And who else in charge but Coach Prime? All right, Michael Jenkins, we appreciate you so much. And speaking of the best show in town, Shock. we'll send it over to you.
I appreciate it. And Jake, no doubt, if the dogs need me, I'm ready to go. Just like for the Buckeyes, I know you'd be ready to go.
Yes, sir.
All right, this year on Going Deep, we're asking Falcons players to give us the behind-the-scenes story of one of the biggest plays of their career. Now, Jonnu Smith brought a ton of big experience to the Falcons tight end room, including one play he cannot forget. Jonnu explains this week's Going Deep.
I would say probably the biggest play that I had in my career was the catch I had in the divisional round versus Baltimore. That was a hostile environment that we went into, man, and we knew how big of a moment that was. You know, we started off the season slow and, you know, found our way fighting through the playoffs, and we was right in the thick of it. And we go to Baltimore, and it was, you know, I believe it was the second quarter or first quarter. It was early in the first half. We was in the red zone, man, and it was third down.
Tannehill tosses end zone. Oh! Jonnu Smith, touchdown! Spectacular grab.
You know, Ryan put one up there, man, and I came down with a one-handed grab, and that silenced the whole crowd. And I believe, you know, that play right there, you know, that led us, you know, that helped us build that momentum. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it was a hostile environment, so we took that momentum and we ran with it, man. And we came out there, we kicked Baltimore. I ain't gonna say that, you know what I mean? But, you know, we got the dub that game.
That was an incredible play. Great look back. Well, something you hate to see in the NFL, any kind of knee injury. It happened to former High Five star Nick Chubb this past week. We'll talk about one of the most common knee injuries you hear about. That's after the break.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz, on your official home for Falcons football, Fox 5 Atlanta.
Well, no knee injury in football is good. In the NFL, one of the worst, the dreaded ACL. You hear about that one pretty commonly around the league. The MCL comes up less frequently, but can certainly present its own challenges to team medical staffs. And that's the focus of this week's Emory Road to Recovery.
The medial collateral ligament, or the ligament on the inside of the knee, is actually more commonly injured, and it can typically be sprained, as we talked about with ankle sprains, on a grade 1, 2, and 3 level. And that ligament will stretch and get torn or get sprained, but a lot of times the body naturally can heal that and restore that without surgery. So players can kind of just rehab this, let it heal on its own. We may use some biologic injections or some kind of intervention like that, but a lot of times we won't need to do surgery on the MCL. And so that's not as bad as an ACL typically by itself. Sometimes they occur together. Sometimes the ligament in the back of the knee, the PCL, can also be injured, which also does have a healing ability, more so than the ACL, but also can sometimes need surgery.
Ooh, I've had a couple of those. All right, more to come on Early Birds. It's science, technology, engineering, and football for the Falcons. We'll explain next on Early Birds.
It's almost game time, Falcons fans. When the Falcons sack the opposing QB at home, you'll score a BOGO free Big Zack snack meal the day after the game. Valid online only at Atlanta area stores. Early Birds has been presented to you by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing. Falcons fans, score a touchdown with low tire prices at Mavis Tires and Brakes, the official tire retailer of the Atlanta Falcons. Visit MavisTire.com to find a store near you.
Well, Shock, Richie Grant and the Falcons are picking up steam with this 2-0 start. They did the same thing on Tuesday, going to a local boys and girls club and got familiar with their STEAM truck. Local nonprofit takes a hands-on approach: STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Shock, how cool is this?
I mean, I see what you did there with STEAM. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But that is pretty cool. I mean, these guys are more than just football players doing stuff outside the box, and this is pretty cool. A lot of these guys look very into it, too.
Yeah, launched rockets, built bridges, all kinds of experiments. Maybe they have the formula for a 3-0 start. We'll tell you all about it tomorrow night on the Dirty Bird Report. Highlights of the Falcons and Lions, interviews, and so much more. That's tomorrow, 11:30, here on Fox 5. So, Shock, Falcons and Lions, one more matchup to watch.
How about the return of possibly Jeff Okudah to Detroit. That should be interesting. Fun to have him back there, see how he's going. His first time back. I'm excited to see him get back on the field. Hopefully, he does make a play in Detroit.
Little extra motivation, debut for the new team. That's a good one to watch. All right, DJ, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us. That's all for us here on Early Birds. For DJ Shockley, I'm Justin Felder. We'll see you next Saturday morning. Have a good morning and a great rest of your weekend.